It's a quiet ache. Isn't it that feeling of being utterly alone, even when surrounded by the echoes of a life once full? We often imagine our later years as a time of peaceful reflection, perhaps a bit slower, but still vibrant, still filled with the warmth of family and lifelong friends. The reality for many, however, is a hushed home, fewer phone calls, and a gnawing sense of isolation that can be hard to articulate, even to ourselves. It's a pain that whispers rather than shouts, often overlooked and misunderstood. What if I told you that the loneliness we feel as we grow older isn't always what it seems on the surface? That there are profound, hidden truths about it, reasons why this feeling creeps in, truths that no one really talks about openly. These aren't just about who's around you, but about deeper shifts in life, in purpose, and even in how we perceive ourselves and others. In this video, we're going to bravely uncover 5 of these surprising, yet deeply impactful truths about loneliness in old age. More importantly, we'll explore gentle, practical ways to understand these truths and, perhaps, even begin to shift our perspective, opening doors to more connection and a richer sense of belonging. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise there's a vital piece of insight waiting for you that could truly change how you view your own connections and empower you to foster new ones. Let's dive right into the first hidden truth, and it might just challenge what you think you know about being lonely. You see, loneliness isn't always about being physically alone. Very often, it's about the quality of the connections we have, or sometimes, the lack thereof. Many people confuse aloneness, which is a physical state of being by oneself, with loneliness, which is a deeply emotional state, a feeling of disconnection. You could be in a bustling family gathering, surrounded by cheerful chatter, and yet feel profoundly isolated if the conversations feel superficial. If you feel unheard, or if there's a sense that no one truly understands what you're going through. It's that feeling of being an observer in your own life, rather than an active participant in meaningful exchanges. Conversely, you could be perfectly content and even joyful in your own company, perhaps reading a good book or working in the garden, feeling deeply connected to yourself or to the few precious relationships that truly nourish your soul. Even if those people aren't physically present at that moment, think about the difference between having many acquaintances versus just 1 or 2 deep confidants. You might see a lot of faces, exchange pleasantries, but do those interactions leave you feeling seen, valued, truly connected? If not, then even a full social calendar can leave you feeling empty. It's a common scenario. Someone might go to every family dinner, every community event, yet still return home with that familiar ache in their chest. The antidote isn't necessarily more people, but deeper, more authentic engagement. This requires a gentle self-reflection. Are my current connections truly nourishing me? Or are they more like background noise? Are they fulfilling a need for genuine connection? Or simply filling time? One powerful step here is to start initiating deeper conversations. Instead of just asking, "How are you?" try asking, "What's been on your mind lately that you're excited about?" Or perhaps, worried about. Share a little more of yourself. Not everything, but just enough to invite a similar openness from others. Perhaps recount a small personal story from your day, or a reflection on something you've been thinking about. Listening actively, truly hearing what the other person is saying without immediately formulating your response, can also be transformative. When you listen with genuine curiosity and empathy, you invite a deeper connection. Remember, it's not about finding dozens of new friends, but about nurturing 1 or 2 truly supportive relationships where you feel safe, understood, and appreciated for exactly who you are. This might be a sibling you haven't truly talked to in years, an old friend from school, or even a new acquaintance you meet through a shared interest. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is to allow ourselves to be a little vulnerable. Sharing a genuine feeling or a quiet concern can be scary, but it often opens the door for others to do the same, forging a bond built on trust and mutual understanding. It's a gift we give both ourselves and others. This idea of quality over quantity, and the gentle courage it takes to foster it, leads us directly to our second hidden truth, one that's often a bit harder to admit, but so crucial to acknowledge because it's something we often do ourselves, without even realizing it. We often self-isolate, little by little, even when opportunities for connection are right there. This isn't about malicious intent or deliberately cutting ourselves off. Instead, it's about subtle shifts in our habits, often driven by fear, comfort zones, or simply a growing sense of inertia. We might decline invitations, stop initiating contact, or avoid new situations, all under the guise of being tired, not wanting to bother anyone, or just preferring quiet. We tell ourselves we're just being independent or conserving energy, but over time, these small, seemingly insignificant decisions accumulate, building invisible walls around us, walls that we don't even fully see taking shape. Think about it: declining a neighbor's offer for a cup of coffee because it feels like too much effort, or letting the phone ring without answering because you don't feel like small talk. Sticking rigidly to routines that limit new interactions, avoiding community events or gatherings that require a bit of social energy, the fear of awkward silences, the dread of superficial conversations, or simply the sheer effort involved in getting ready and going out, can all contribute to this quiet retreat. It's a very human tendency, not a failing, but it's one that we need to acknowledge if we're going to counter it. Our social connections, much like a muscle, need regular exercise. If we don't use them, if we stop engaging, they can begin to atrophy, making it even harder to connect when we eventually feel the need. It's a tricky cycle to break, but it starts with simply noticing. One gentle way to counter this is to consciously start saying yes to small opportunities. Maybe it's accepting that coffee invitation, even if it's just for a short while. Perhaps it's making eye contact and offering a genuine smile to a stranger in the grocery store, or striking up a brief conversation with the cashier. These small yeses can be incredibly powerful in breaking down those invisible walls. Another step is to re-engage with old hobbies or find new ones that naturally involve social interaction. Have you always loved reading? Join a local book club. Enjoyed walking? Look for a walking group in your area. Interested in crafts or art? Sign up for a class at a community center. These activities provide a low-pressure environment for meeting like-minded people. And instead of always waiting for others to reach out to you, try initiating contact yourself. Make 1 or 2 calls to friends or family each week. Send a thoughtful text, or even a handwritten card. These small acts of reaching out can make a world of difference. Not just for the recipient, but for your own sense of connection. Understanding these subtle ways we pull back is the first step, and it sets the stage for our next revelation, which speaks to something even deeper than just our social habits, touching upon our very sense of self. Now, this next hidden truth might hit a bit closer to home for many of us, because it's not just about the people we've lost, but also about the profound loss of roles and purpose that contributes to the void of loneliness. As we navigate the later chapters of life, we often shed significant roles that have defined us for decades. For many, this means retirement, stepping away from a career that provided daily structure, intellectual stimulation, and a built-in social network of colleagues and clients. For others, it's the shift from active parenting as children grow up and move away, leading to an empty nest. And for many, it's the immense change that comes with becoming a widower or widow, where a lifetime of shared responsibilities, caregiving, and companionship suddenly ceases. These roles aren't just titles. They provide a profound sense of identity, a feeling of being needed, of contributing, and a natural rhythm to our days. When they vanish, it can leave a gaping hole, a profound sense of emptiness, and a lack of clear purpose. which manifests as loneliness. Even if there are still people physically around, it's a loss of who you were in the world and trying to navigate who you are now without those familiar anchors. Imagine a retired teacher who misses the daily interaction with students and colleagues, the intellectual challenge, the feeling of shaping young minds, or a widower who feels utterly lost without the constant needs and presence of their partner, for whom they had cared so deeply. The days can feel long and directionless, and the social fabric that was woven around those roles begins to unravel. The solution isn't to simply find new friends, but to rediscover a new sense of purpose and meaning. This is often more challenging than it sounds, because it requires looking inward and asking, what truly lights me up now? What contribution can I still make? One powerful step is to consciously seek out new ways to rediscover purpose. Think about what always excited you, even if you never had time for it before. Was there a cause you cared deeply about? A skill you always wanted to learn? Taking a class, whether it's pottery, a new language, or even an online course on history, can open up new neural pathways in your brain and, crucially, new social circles with people who share your interests. Another incredibly rewarding path is mentorship. You have a lifetime of wisdom and experience accumulated. Could you volunteer to mentor younger individuals in your former profession? Or perhaps new community members who could benefit from your guidance? This immediately reinstates a valuable role, a sense of being needed, and a connection to a different generation. Becoming involved in your local community, perhaps joining a committee, a neighborhood watch, or an advocacy group for something you believe in, can also provide a strong sense of belonging and contribution. It helps to rebuild that feeling of being an active, vital part of something larger than yourself. This transition takes time and patience with oneself, but it is deeply enriching. These internal battles are very real, and recognizing them for what they are is incredibly empowering. Now, let's explore our fourth hidden truth, which delves into another silent barrier that often prevents us from reaching out when we need connection the most. Our fourth hidden truth touches on something many of us wrestle with internally, a silent barrier that keeps us from reaching out, the fear of being a burden or appearing needy. This is incredibly common among older adults, many of whom have spent a lifetime being fiercely independent, taking care of others, and priding themselves on their self-sufficiency. The very idea of asking for help, admitting vulnerability, or seeming needy can be profoundly uncomfortable, even shameful. It goes against a lifetime of ingrained habits and deeply held values. This fear, though well-meaning, often prevents us from initiating contact, from accepting genuine offers of help, or even from simply expressing a need for company. Ironically, it inadvertently deepens the very isolation we're trying to avoid. We might tell ourselves that our children are too busy, our friends have their own lives, or that we don't want to be a bother, when in reality, those who care about us often yearn to be helpful and involved. Think about it. Have you ever hesitated to call a child or grandchild because you assumed they must be busy? Have you declined an offer for a ride to an appointment or help with groceries, insisting you can manage, even when you're struggling? Or perhaps you've simply pretended everything is fine when it's not, putting on a brave face to avoid complaining. This impulse comes from a place of strength and dignity, but it can unintentionally build walls rather than bridges. It creates a situation where others may assume you're doing perfectly well and don't need anything, when in fact, you might be longing for connection. The truth is, allowing others to help us, to show us kindness, can be a profound gift to them. It gives them purpose, a chance to express their love and care, and strengthens the bond between you. It reminds them that they are valued in your life, not just for what they do, but for who they are to you. So, how can we gently challenge this deeply ingrained fear? One crucial step is to reframe what it means to be a burden. Instead of viewing it as a weakness, see it as an opportunity for connection and reciprocal giving. When someone helps you, you are giving them the gift of being useful, of feeling needed, of expressing their affection. It's a two-way street, even if the tangible acts aren't always equal. Start incredibly small. Practice asking for a low-stakes favor, something that feels manageable. It could be as simple as, "Could you recommend a good book you've read recently?" Or, "Have you tried that new bakery down the street?" And if so, what did you think? These tiny asks can help you practice vulnerability without feeling overwhelmed. When expressing a need for company, try framing it gently rather than with a stark, "I'm lonely." Perhaps, "I was just thinking about you and wondered if you might be free for a cup of tea sometime soon." Or, "I'd love some company if you have a moment to chat." And remember, reciprocity doesn't always mean doing something big in return. It can be listening patiently to their news, sharing a funny anecdote, offering words of encouragement, or simply expressing heartfelt gratitude. Opening ourselves up in this way, even just a crack, can allow light and connection to flow in. We open doors for others all the time. Sometimes, the greatest act of courage is letting someone open a door for us. Our fifth and final hidden truth addresses the complex and often misunderstood role of technology in our lives today. Many people hold the belief that digital connection, whether through social media or video calls, can fully replace real-world, in-person interaction. And while it's true that these tools offer immense benefits for staying connected, especially over distance, they often lack the full sensory experience, the spontaneous nuances, and the depth of communication that comes from being in the same physical space. A video call can't replace a comforting hug, a shared laugh that fills a room, or the unspoken understanding that comes from simply being present with someone. However, dismissing technology entirely means missing out on crucial bridges to connection, especially when mobility is limited, or loved ones live far away. The truth is, digital connection isn't a substitute for real-world interaction. Rather, it can be a vital bridge and a powerful complement when used wisely and intentionally. Think about someone who might rely solely on Facebook messages to keep up with family, and then feels exhausted or unfulfilled by the endless stream of online content that lacks genuine depth. Or, conversely, consider someone who initially resisted learning how to use a tablet, but then discovered the immense joy of seeing their distant grandchildren's faces on a video call, or joining a specialized online community for their unique hobby, or a support group for a shared experience. It's about finding the right balance and understanding the unique strengths of these tools. They are not meant to replace the warmth of a handhold, but they can bridge geographical distances, facilitate regular check-ins, and allow us to maintain connections that would otherwise fade. So, how can we navigate this digital landscape to foster genuine connection first? Embrace selective digital tools. Focus on the ones that genuinely foster interaction and seeing faces. Video calls, like Zoom or FaceTime, are incredibly powerful for seeing the expressions and movements of loved ones. Messaging apps can be great for quick updates or sharing photos. Keeping lines of communication open, and explore online groups or forums related to your specific interests. Whether it's a gardening forum, a local history discussion group, or a knitting circle, these can introduce you to like-minded individuals with whom you share a genuine passion. It's important to set boundaries, though. Don't let digital communication become your only form of connection. Use it to supplement real-world interactions, not substitute them entirely. Prioritize and schedule dedicated in-person time when it's possible, even if it's just a weekly coffee with a friend or a regular visit from a family member. Don't be afraid to ask for help in learning new digital skills. Many community centers offer free classes for seniors, and younger family members are often more than happy to teach you the ropes. Think of it as opening up a whole new avenue for connection. The hybrid approach can be very effective. Use digital tools to plan real-world meetups, Let's video call this week to catch up, and then maybe we can plan a coffee next month. This combines the convenience of digital communication with the essential human need for face-to-face interaction. The aim is to leverage technology as a tool to enhance, rather than replace, the rich tapestry of human connection in your life. So, we've journeyed through these 5 hidden truths about loneliness in old age. We've seen that loneliness often stems from a lack of quality connections, not just a lack of physical presence, that we sometimes unconsciously build walls of self-isolation through small, repeated choices, that the profound loss of life roles and purpose can leave a significant void within us, that the fear of being a burden or appearing needy can tragically keep us silent and alone, and finally, that while digital tools aren't a full replacement for real-world interaction, they are incredibly powerful bridges when used wisely and with intention. This isn't about blaming ourselves for feeling lonely or for navigating these complex emotions. Rather, it's about understanding. Loneliness is a deeply complex and universal human experience, and acknowledging these hidden truths is the first brave and essential step towards alleviating it. Remember, you are absolutely not alone in feeling this way. So many of us, at different stages of life, share these very experiences and struggles. Even the smallest step, one courageous phone call, one shared smile with a neighbor, one new question asked, one new online skill learned, can begin to ripple outwards, creating connections and opening up possibilities where you might not have seen them before. I truly want to hear from you. Have any of these hidden truths resonated with your own experiences? What strategies or perspectives have you found helpful in navigating feelings of loneliness or fostering more connection in your life? Please share your thoughts, your wisdom, and your own stories in the comments below. Your perspective could be the very thing someone else needs to hear today, offering comfort, insight, or a spark of hope. If this video has brought you even a little bit of comfort, understanding, or a fresh perspective, please give it a like. That simple click truly helps more people find this message and feel less alone. And if you're looking for more supportive content, practical advice, and encouraging insights designed to help you live your fullest, happiest life at every age, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. Life is a remarkable journey of continuous discovery, and genuine connection is a fundamental part of our well-being and happiness at any age. Embrace these truths, empower yourself with understanding, and remember you have so much invaluable wisdom to offer, so much love to share, and so much joy still to experience. Live your best life, connected and cherished, at every age.